Roxborough, a land of enchantment, of mystical hills, and of radio towers. In this hard-scrabble borough of Philadelphia, nothing comes easy when you're poor, white, and stupid.
Nothing comes easy when you're poor, white, and stupid. Nobody likes you when the world is confusing. You never understand anything that you do. You're poor, white, and stupid, and you haven't got a clue. I'm out, meticulous and spoken.
Dan and John McGlaughlin, two brothers sharing very little in common except for the unfortunate stigma of still living with their middle-aged parents.
You know, it's about time you get a job.
Dan's 28. John's 26. Unemployed and unemployable. Growing up in Roxborough, Dan struggled to forge his identity as the middle child of a large Irish Catholic family. During his adolescence, Dan went through 7 distinct phases in 3 short years. The Karate Kid, the Jock, the Scholar, the Surfer Dude, the Luke Perry, the I Look Just Like My Dad, and the Actor. It was the last one that stuck when Dan realized he was the only straight guy working on a high school production of Hello, Dolly. His acting career shadowed the trajectory of countless other aspiring thespians. Headshots, rap parties, post parties, and preening narcissism. After college, Dan went up to New York City to ply his trade and realized that there was millions of people just like him. John McGlaughlin is Roxborough through and through. Like the Fresh Prince, on the playground is where he spent most of his days, practicing his fadeaway jump shot and imitating moves from Michael Jordan's Come Fly With Me. But that all changed when John got cut from his high school basketball team and discovered the sweetest elixir on earth. His misguided adolescence was informed by late 90s rappers like Ja Rule and Nelly. After 12 years of Catholic schooling, John wasn't exactly thrilled by the idea of higher education. So he spent the next 6 years traveling, working odd jobs, attending some college, and experimenting with music and film. Meanwhile, Dan's New York adventure wasn't turning out as expected. He was living in Harlem with his girlfriend and working the graveyard shift so he can audition during the days.
May I be the only one to say I really fell in love the day I first laid eyes on you.
Around the same time, John was fulfilling his lifelong dream of working as a bicycle tour guide in Paris. But after 6 months of confirming European stereotypes of obnoxious Americans, John decided to return back to where he belonged, Roxborough. Dan's high school acting buddy got a big break with Disney and was now living in Redondo Beach with his Portuguese girlfriend. After a few crappy years in New York City, Dan decided to throw in the towel and return back to where it all began, Roxborough. Tom and Dari McGlaughlin have been in love since their first date at age 13. Dari's a nurse, Tom's a teacher. Everything was going perfect before they had their 5 puking, petulant, problematic children. They've endured years of irrational behavior and endless sibling infighting.
Hey.
Just beneath their smiling facade is a deep and dark reservoir of reproductive regret. So it was of no surprise that John and Dan came boomeranging home.
Bonjour. Danny, ça va? Bonjour.
Hey, Dan!
Hey, John. Long time.
Yeah. You came back.
Looks like we all come back.
Hey, Dad! John quickly slipped back into his old role of aimlessly wandering the streets of Philadelphia. Dan's re-entry, however, brought about a strange regression where he retreated into the womb-like safety of his old room. Dari wasn't impressed.
Get a freaking job.
My dad got me a part-time teaching gig helping teach a film course to inner-city high school students.
I want to be just like you when I grow up.
Like father, like son.
I didn't know much about filmmaking, so I relied heavily on my acting skills to impress my admiring pupils.
All right, you know what, kids? You should be in class.
John continued to experiment with songwriting. He crisscrossed genres, children's music,
When I close my eyes.
Eagle rap,
Meticulous.
sports rap,
First up, J-Roll steps to the plate.
and songs about his friends.
My name is Mud.
But he just couldn't find that sound until one cold January evening when the Philadelphia Eagles were playing the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC Championship game.
This is Gerald Sneeze on YFG. With 10:45 remaining in the NFC Championship game, the
Dan, what is that?
Philadelphia Eagles lead the Arizona Cardinals 25-24.
Dan, what are you playing?
I
call Gallup with the Kings.
Such intensity.
Then came the vision that would transform their lives, Talons of the Eagle.
What happened to John?
Oh my God.
And all the other players, Larry, Fitzgerald, down the line, they just keep on showing us time after time.
Play that song again.
Yes! Oh my God, did you see that?
They worked all through the night. Well, at least for a couple of minutes. After they were done, Talons of the Eagle was born.
Once again, for you to rise up and defend and pledge allegiance to your team. And if we bleed, we will bleed green.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Oh, man.
Kind of like my version better.
Hey, maybe if the Eagles win, we'll get it on the radio tomorrow. Let's go watch the rest of the game. Oh.
But disaster had struck.
Every year.
What happened? They lost. Again.
Oh, well.
Jesus.
The loss to the Arizona Cardinals sacked Philadelphia harder than a safety blitz. The collective despair was intolerable, but John refused to admit defeat.
Dan.
What?
I got a new talent song.
The season's over once again, and now
John.
we're going home.
What?
It's over, man. Let it go.
But John doesn't know how to let things go. So throughout that cruel, terrible winter, he wrote, and he planned, and he waited for the perfect time to unleash Talons of the Eagle.
I also did a little research on the name Talons of the Eagle. As fate would have it, there's an early 90s kung fu buddy cop thriller starring Billy Blanks named, you guessed it, Talons of the Eagle. It took me months to learn the secret handshake.
February melted into March, and John continued to plan for next season. He became obsessed with the idea of getting a bus in hopes of kickstarting Talons of the Eagle. After scouring the internet, he finally found the right one, a 1989 Ford Collins Black Beauty in Asbury Park, New Jersey. He used the rest of his financial aid money to go pick up the bus with Dan. Just imagine all the things we could do in there. A little playhouse. We can sleep in the bus.
We can go on tour.
We can pick up chicks.
We can make a movie about the bus.
That's it. We'll make a movie about our band.
Huh?
We'll put our songs in the movie and prove to everybody we're the greatest Philadelphia Eagles rock band on earth.
Making a movie about a band that doesn't exist in hopes of making the band exist.
Huh? We can cast all of our friends.
Maybe we'll play evil versions of ourselves.
John and Danny Dingo!
What can we name it? Cry of the Eagle! Woo!
They continued up to Asbury Park, New Jersey, where they picked up Frankenstein, the newest member of Talons of the Eagle. John drove back to Roxborough that day feeling like a new man, but little did he know he just purchased an $1,800 lemon, which would never properly function again. Some people say the McGlaughlins have a problem with alcohol. They'd rather call it a solution that helps them tolerate each other. So it was only logical that John and Dan spent the next few months in Roxborough's finest dive bars, working on the storyline of Cry of the Eagle. The locals were suspicious of the two creeps in the corner laughing to each other. But gradually, the story started to come together.
We'll have Bon Jovi in the movie, and all of his lines will be titles from the album Slippery When Wet.
Dude, how are we gonna get Bon Jovi?
I don't know, we'll just email him.
The more alcohol they consumed, the more outrageous their plans became. But the basic plot was pretty simple. Talons of the Eagle, the greatest Philadelphia Eagles rock band on earth, self-destructs in the devastating aftermath of the Eagles' loss to the Cardinals. Diamond, the band's beloved bassist, tragically dies of a broken heart, as the drummer, Denny Slumdog, is hauled away to prison for assaulting a Cardinals fan outside of a Manayunk tavern. Dan and John McGlaughlin, the band's frontmen, become disillusioned with their efforts to keep their fractured band and broken dreams together. A few months later, local radio celebrity DJ Vellucci decides the Eagles need a new fight song to cast out last season's lingering shadow. DJ Vellucci hosts a Battle of the Bands contest to find the next Eagles fight song. The winning act is given the chance to play their song on the 50-yard line during halftime of the Philadelphia Eagles' opening game. After hearing the announcement, Talons of the Eagle realize that this is their ultimate opportunity to prove themselves as the world's greatest Philadelphia Eagles rock band. Armed with a new bassist, Angel, and a catalog of ripping football rock tunes, Talons of the Eagle hit the stage like a hurricane of football fury. But two of the biggest names in children's music, Uncle John and Danny Dingo, make a secret backroom deal with DJ Vellucci to ensure their victory at Battle of the Bands. Just as all appears to be lost for Talons of the Eagle, an unlikely hero teaches the McGlaughlin brothers the secret way of the Eagle and helps them discover the true spirit of Philadelphia.
After the storyline was fleshed out, it was time to write the script. Since Dan was technically supplying the equipment, I decided to take on the task myself. I did a little research on how to write it in proper format and whatnot, and then spent 1 week at the kitchen table slogging through the story, page by page. After 5 joyless days in front of the computer, Cry of the Eagle was born.
Hello?
Like most newborns, it wasn't very pretty, so Dan spent a few days carefully editing the script.
Whole page, goodbye. Meow, 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 meow.
After many insightful revisions, the script was ready to go, so they spent the next few days carefully selecting the cast.
It's ringing. Okay.
Hey, Mike? Hey, it's John! McGlaughlin. Yeah, the guy from high school. Listen, we're making a movie over the summer. You want to be in it? Please? Please?
Please?
Please, 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 please. No? All right. See you later. No. He said no.
We were looking for people who had very unique qualities. Specifically, we were looking for people that didn't necessarily have a job, didn't have anything to do during the summer, and didn't mind working for beer. After scouring the streets of Roxborough, we finally found our cast.
The two main characters naturally fell to me and Dan, because we're egotistical maniacs, and we knew we had a pretty wide open summer.
Danny, you ready?
We were looking for a versatile actor. One who could play two roles. The band's only fan, Vinny G.
Towns of the Eagle!
And also Uncle John and Danny Dingo's sleazy manager, Rex Raucus.
Hey, Uncle John, what's up?
The role was perfect for Mike Irachi.
I am Mike Irachi, and I am playing the part as Vinny Gazpacho.
Mike's an old family friend, and our entire relationship is based on making fun of other people. So he's perfect for the part.
We thought that my character needed a love interest, so after entertaining various offers from various suitors, I thought it would be best to use my actual sort of girlfriend for the role, Christy.
Dan?
A former actress and professional dancer, Christy was made for the role.
Do you like the Eagles?
The next two roles were for the drummer and the bassist. We needed a real miscreant lowlife to play the drummer, Denny Slumdog. Dennis Small was at the top of our list.
Hi, my name's Dennis Small, and I'm playing Denny Slumdog.
A former Marine and now professional mercenary with Blackwater, Denny had the perfect anything-goes resume to play a convincing slumdog. In keeping with our theme of duality, we casted Damon Mixel as both the original bassist, Diamond, and the new bassist, Angel.
Hello, I am Damon Mixel, and I will be playing Diamond and Angel.
Damon also served in the armed forces, and is cool under fire. Just the person to hold it down on the four strings.
Roxborough is full of characters. Meatheads, winos, wanksters. But no one's quite like Keith DeVinny. Keith occupies his own category.
Gizpacho, I'll kill you in your sleep.
It was important that Keith was given a role that allowed his true talents to shine. So we decided Keith would be best served with the character of Daryl Swipely, the band's shiesty manager.
Hello, my name is Keith DeVinny. I live in Roxborough. I drink all the beer and I smoke all the weed. And I am playing Daryl Swipely.
A match made in heaven.
True to life, John and Dan were to be unemployed and living at home with their parents. So casting Tom and Dory was a no-brainer.
My name's Dory McGlaughlin, and I'm playing Dory McGlaughlin.
How you doing? I'm Tom McGlaughlin, and I'm playing Tom McGlaughlin in this major motion picture.
They've had over 30 years of the requisite training and experience.
Get up, do you hear me? Get up, get up.
The role of Agnes, John and Dan's mystic, prophetic, creepy younger sister, naturally went to their younger sister, Kathy.
Hello, my name is Kathy McGlaughlin, and I'm playing the role of Agnes McGlaughlin.
Kathy predicated her participation upon the condition that her best friends, Jenna Kane and Michelle Hayes, be given roles in the film. So we casted Jenna as Dan's former girlfriend and Michelle Hayes as Danny Dingo's assistant.
The role of Eagle Man was specially tailored to one of my friends from tour guiding days, Kyle Muller. Kyle already had a little exposure to the limelight, so brought a little star power to the cast.
Hey, ¿qué pasa?
Pepe,
Hey, John.
The remainder of the cast was largely from Roxborough and played an essential role in creating the world within a world of the film.
Talented Eagles suck!
With the script and the cast in order, it was time to draw up the shooting schedule and to finalize the budget. The budget didn't take very long to finalize. Between the two of them, they had about $1,200. The first $700 went to a variety of costumes and props, which really impressed the cast.
Money, 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 money.
The rest of the money was put aside strictly for emergencies. They next went about creating the shooting schedule.
Cry of the Eagle production office, hard at work.
But Dan and John were not on the same wavelength.
It was the middle of June, and we were supposed to have a feature-length film by the beginning of September.
June 24th to July 7th, take a week off, then July 14th.
We had no idea how to edit using Final Cut Pro's advanced non-linear editing system.
I wasn't phased a bit.
And from my work in theater, I was a firm believer in Murphy's Law.
We'd edit during the month of August and have the movie in time for the Eagles game. Voila.
So I recommended that we schedule in some cushion time just in case.
I even drew up a few storyboards just for good measure.
The first day of shooting was at Mike Irachi's house. Mike had no formal acting experience, so he didn't know what to expect. Surprisingly, he was a natural in front of the camera.
Cut.
Try it one more time, but more like...
I like that one better. Dan and John had their first of many creative differences.
Look how it looks like I have a huge light on me from there.
I think, look, John, it looks good.
But Mike's ease in front of the camera made the first day of shooting a breeze.
That's a nice looking boy. Can I keep this picture? John Connor's his name. Connor, John.
After the first week of shooting, we realized that none of the cast had actually read the script, let alone memorized their lines.
Everybody relax. Driver Daryl's behind the wheel. Relax.
Reach that one more time. Say, Dr. Daryl's behind the wheel.
All right.
And Dan and John were experiencing technical difficulties.
How do I get this tape out of here?
You just pull it out.
Do not push.
Oh, you know why? It's you gotta turn the camera off.
Oh.
They also realized that they should only give the cast beer after they finished shooting for the day. Dennis spent the majority of production deeply intoxicated.
By July 7th, we were 2.5 weeks behind schedule. We tried to stop the bleeding by focusing on the scenes that took place at the family manor.
2, 3. We tried to schedule the scenes in our house around our parents' working hours, unless of course they had to be in the scenes. Dari hated the idea of shooting in the house more than she hated shooting itself. Once she got in front of the camera, she loved the limelight.
You should just turn this off because she's messed up.
And Tom pretty much did whatever we asked of him. Kathy, however, presented a unique set of challenges.
Kathy is the youngest of 5 children and spent much of her youth enduring chauvinistic torment from her 4 older brothers and honing her psychological defense mechanisms. She was reluctant to participate from the very beginning.
Let's do one more take of that.
But her idiosyncratic persona was perfect for the role of Agnes.
You tell me, is everything okay?
It was the end of July, and we still needed to film over half of the movie. So I began in earnest to learn Final Cut Pro. Final Cut has a billion different keypad shortcuts and editing tools that can trigger a slew of unwanted actions for the novice user.
No!
Many long evening hours were spent alone with the computer and a flask of the old gin.
Why? Why?
The movie begins with the band playing in a Philadelphia tavern during the Eagles-Cardinals game.
The scene required a lot of extras for a fight sequence between the Eagles fans and the Cardinals fans. But we had 2 problems. First, we could only get access to the bar at 2:30 a.m.
It's hard at 4 o'clock in the morning.
And second, Dennis got a mission from Blackwater to report to Afghanistan the following morning.
We received a decent turnout despite the early hours. Andrew Fabry and the Cardinals fans had already been drinking along Main Street that night when they saw the open call for extras on Facebook and fell immediately into their roles as the antagonistic Cardinals fans.
Do we want shots to start? Should we have our celebration shots now?
Every time we score a touchdown, shots.
As for Dennis, we decided we'd get a few pickups of him later on in the month when he returned from Afghanistan. And for the fight sequence, we use Irachi as Slumdog. And what a slumdog he was. The fighting sequence quickly escalated and was on the verge of spiraling out of control when we finally yelled cut.
Good?
Cinematic gold.
Meanwhile, Dan and John's relationship began to deteriorate.
Camera rolling and action.
You.
The stress of too much work and too little money began to take its toll, and it all came to a head when Dan and John set out to film the Search for Eagle Man sequence. Dan wanted to film the sequence in their backyard, but John insisted upon a more exotic location.
Eagle Man!
After an exhausting day, Dan felt like John unilaterally usurped control of the movie.
People in Roxborough were often more excited about the movie than we were.
I hate you! I hate you!
Everybody knew about it and wanted to be in it. These characters added color and variety to the movie and always seemed to breathe new life into the production.
No, bro, I know.
By mid-August, we had about 3/4 of the movie finished, and Dan had assembled a rough cut of the first 40 minutes. It wasn't pretty, but we were excited to see anything. The only problem was, Dan was running out of space on the hard drive because we were importing so much footage. These massive files occupied huge chunks of the computer's memory, and Dan was concerned that we wouldn't have enough space to finish the movie. In an effort to free much needed space, Dan began deleting what he assumed were meaningless files from the computer's memory. In the third week of August, the McGlaughlin family went down to the Jersey Shore for its annual vacation in Sea Isle, but Dan stayed back home to continue editing the movie.
Oh, no. Hello? The movie's gone. What? What do you mean the movie's gone? What do I mean? It's gone. It's all gone. Oh, I'll be right back. It's over.
When John returned, Dan was on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
What happened? Oh, the movie's gone.
Oh my God, what's left?
Snippets. I was trying to free space on the hard drive and I accidentally deleted all the source clips from the scratch disk.
But we got the tapes though, right?
Yeah, but I'd still have to import all the footage again, then sift through all of it, and then put it back into the timeline.
How long is that gonna take?
At least another 3 weeks.
3 weeks? Dan, we still got a quarter of the film left to shoot, and it's less than a month until the Eagles game.
We gotta push it back. There's nothing else we can do.
No!
And so the premiere date was pushed back a month to give John and Dan enough time to finish the movie. The cast, however, was a little disappointed.
Makes me wanna cry.
But everyone agreed it was the only thing to do, so Dan pressed on with his grueling task of redoing all of his previous work. Meanwhile, Damon Mixel was leaving Roxborough for school in Tampa Bay, so Dan and John needed a replacement for Angel's buff physique and cool acting style. Keith was the obvious replacement, and he added a little flair of his own to the character.
By the middle of September, I had recompiled all the deleted footage and had a rough cut of the movie.
The season's over once again.
We still needed to add a few scenes and score the soundtrack. Most of the movie was all there, so John started to plan the premiere.
I shopped around various venues in Philadelphia, but they were all a tad out of our price range.
We don't have any money.
And then I thought to ask my school, Drexel University. Turns out, Drexel's got a 250-seat theater that students can use for absolutely free. The price was right.
Initially, we were only inviting the cast and a few family members, 40 people tops. But pretty soon, we started getting emails and phone calls from people we never heard of.
Tomorrow night, we're getting the boys together.
This was going to be a little bit bigger than expected.
Many people would ask us what genre of movie we were making. And then we usually replied, glorified music video.
We smell blood, we smell beer.
The movie was for the music.
Till someone cries. John found a low-budget recording studio and booked a 10-hour session with his remaining $300.
End zone. We're going to the end zone.
10 hours and 10 songs later, Talons of the Eagle had their first record. Game time.
Now you know that we are going to the end zone.
The day of the premiere, John still wanted to make some last-minute adjustments.
Pull that back. Pull it back.
Let's go.
So right here, you're gonna have to slide that back over right into this little area, right?
It's 12. We got 8 hours until the premiere.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Okay. Let's just go through everything one last time. Okay.
Dan was getting impatient, and finally at 1:30, he put his foot down.
Right.
Shut up! Just shut up. I'm burning it now. I'm not waiting any longer.
Dan, we can't. This looks like crap. Shh. It looks like crap.
To burn the movie, Dan had to export the file to iDVD, but he encountered a familiar problem.
No!
No!
I don't have enough memory to do this. I gotta delete some stuff from the desktop at least.
If you're gonna delete anything, you have to be very careful. We don't want to lose the movie again, okay?
Dan spent a half an hour carefully deleting selected files.
Dot the T's, semicolon, exclamation point, period, And that is that. High five. Woo! Whoa. No! All the music's gone.
All the music's gone?
Dude, just get out.
Dan accidentally deleted all of the music from the computer's hard drive and spent the next few hours re-importing the files onto the timeline. John was now growing impatient.
How much longer?
I don't know.
How do I know if it's gonna be ready on time?
I don't know. Just go down to the premiere, make sure everything's okay. I'll come down when it's finished.
When John arrived at the theater, hundreds of people were already waiting and candidly discussing their high expectations of the film.
So how are you going to feel seeing yourself on the screen, Mr. Irachi?
I'm gonna have a boner.
And John was freaking out.
Is it ready yet? Failed to multiplex. Damn, there's like 500 people here. I don't know what to tell you.
What am I supposed to do?
I'll bring the computer down and maybe we can hook it up to the screen.
Just hurry up, okay?
John tried to reassure the restless and impatient crowd.
All right, so give me like 15, 20 minutes to get everything.
Dan finally arrived an hour later.
What is this? Where's the rest of the computer? Here, you try. There's like 500 people out there. What are we gonna do, man?
Someone's gonna say something.
I'm not going out there. You go out there.
You're going out there. I'm not doing this tonight. This is not me.
We tried to go out to the crowd to explain the technical difficulties, but they were all disappointed. It was a mess. Shh. Shh. The movie will not be shown.
Darkness descended upon John. He kept reliving the horrific experience over and over again in his head. He kept beating himself up for being such a fool. And questioned the purpose of his existence.
Why? Why?
But after a few weeks, he snapped out of it. And the cast began to demand a new premiere.
Camacho, what is the deal?
As Dan provided some Big Brother inspiration.
If we're going to win this, we need to fight like an eagle.
So they marched back to the line of scrimmage and began planning for the next premiere. But back in the editing room, Dan finally had enough of John's incessant demands.
You know what? You edit this.
What? I don't know how to edit.
While John was trying to learn Final Cut, Dan felt like all of his power had finally been taken. A few evenings before the new premiere, John was scrolling through files on the computer when he noticed a folder he had never seen before. He clicked on it and found all of the deleted footage.
Eureka! I found the missing files! Ha-ha!
The night of the new premiere, John tried to make amends.
Man, you gonna come to your own premiere?
I'm not going. Whatever.
The damage was already done. For this premiere, John was taking no chances.
We tried the movie on the big screen. This time, it worked.
And there was a pretty decent turnout considering the circumstances. By 8:30, people began to shuffle into the theater and take their seats, and John tried to deliver an opening speech.
So this has been a very long journey from beginning to end.
And to account for Dan's glaring absence.
And Dan McGlaughlin, who unfortunately has some unusual bowel movements, he could not make it.
But it all ceased to matter as soon as the movie was up on the big screen. An hour and a half later, the movie was finished, and the long road to nowhere was finally complete.
Any questions or anything like that? You guys have an okay time?
What was your budget?
It was about $1,200.
How much did that bus cost?
The bus was about $1,200. That was the budget right there.
Dan and John finally made amends. John showed Dan his new script, and Dan revealed his idea for a new television show.
Me and Mario.
They even went back over the film and thought about sending a copy to the Philadelphia Eagles.
My God. Look at all this footage. We should make a gag reel.
We should make a documentary about how stupid we are.
Yeah, we are pretty stupid.
And poor.
And white.
Poor, white, and stupid!
Nothing comes easy when you're poor, white, and stupid. Nobody likes you and the world is confusing. You never understand anything that you do. You're poor, white, and stupid, and you haven't got a clue. I ain't got no job, I never had no money, never got no girls, cause my jokes ain't funny. You'll never understand all the problems that I'm facing. My parents don't like me cause I live in the basement. Oh me, oh my, I'm the world's biggest loser. Be addicted to drugs if I knew how to use them. I watch TV to try to numb the pain, but it only makes me dumber while I'm going insane. I close my eyes and try to picture a place that I can get to when I'm feeling that I need an escape. Looking for answers, can't hear what they say. All I'm seeing is a picture of my stupid face. Sometimes I wish that I had never been born or lived inside a fantasy with hobbits and unicorns. I do my thing and I do it so well, but when I wake into this world, it's like I'm waking to hell. Nothing comes easy when you're poor, white, and stupid. Nobody likes you when the world is confusing. You never understand anything that you do. You're poor, white, and stupid, and you haven't got a clue.